It's Thursday, the 4th of December 2025. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, the economy. This is story number 1. I've just jumped straight into it. I'm that excited about this. It's expanding at a 2.1% clip, with consumers, business and the government driving growth. The bad news is that inflation pressures are rising, taking an interest rate cut off the agenda.
It was probably a good result for the government, for the central bank, for business and consumers, although anyone wanting a rate cut, well, the GDP numbers from the ABS didn't do much to help the cause yesterday. Growth for the quarter, 0.4%, fueled by higher spending by businesses, particularly data centres. Consumer spending was weaker than June, though it's still pretty decent, while government spending continues to contribute to growth. The trade sector was solid. Imports were helped by the appreciation of the AUD, and so far the Trump tariffs haven't hit the local economy in a negative way anyway. On a per capita basis, growth was flat, suggesting economic growth is only rising because of population growth. Productivity picked up a bit, though still a bit weak. Big downside in the data, as you mentioned, inflation. Also, the reduction in inventories detracted 0.5 percentage points from growth, a bit of an anomaly in the way the numbers are put together. 0.5 percentage points is a big, big number. If that wasn't there, the economy would be looking pretty good.
What's the bottom line here, Sean? How is the economy performing? What does it mean for rates?
The consensus among economists is that the national accounts are a pretty solid set of numbers, showing a broadening of economic growth along with inflation pressures. That raises the question of whether the economy is at capacity, and therefore the Reserve Bank needs to lift interest rates to slow things down. Now, yesterday, the RBA Governor Michelle Bullock was in Senate estimates. She said it wasn't clear whether the economy was running above capacity or not. She also said the whole purpose of the RBA board is to bring inflation to the midpoint of its target range of 2 to 3%. Haven't done it yet. So I reckon the GDP figures / Michelle Bullock, put it all together, definitely no rate cuts, maybe a rate rise next year.
Okay, moving on to story number 2, a pretty remarkable story, this one. The executive assistant to the boss of the Future Fund racked up $20,000 in bills on 2 business class trips, one of which was to inspect hotel rooms for the Sovereign Wealth Fund senior management team.
Senator David Pocock in Senate estimates accused Future Fund Chief Executive Raphael Arndt of spending taxpayer money in a cavalier way. The executive assistant had taken the other trip to assist the Future Fund's board, not sure what that actually means. Arndt said her trip resulted, or the original trip resulted in savings higher than the cost, though Pocock then asked whether it could have been done online or over the phone. Arndt himself attended the exclusive Members Club 33 at Disneyland. He was under fire for that one. He said it was for business, that he was unable to say if taxpayers or Disney picked up the bill for it. He said he wanted to learn about Disney's training programs. The Future Fund, established in 2006, of course, oversees a portfolio for the Commonwealth of about $261 billion.
Story number 3 is very much along the same lines, similar themes, I suppose you'd say. Communications Minister Annika Wells is under fire after billing taxpayers $70,000 to host an event in New York, spooking Australia's teen social media ban, and for spending almost $100,000 on flights to attend the United Nations General Assembly.
Wells and a staff member flew to the September UN General Assembly meeting after delaying her departure following the Optus 000 outage that was linked to 3 deaths. Now, a senior public servant also flew to New York earlier than planned. I have some sympathy for Wells in this one because she did stay back due to the Optus outage, but the details of the costs make it hard to be too kind. Wells returned commercial flights to New York. One returned business class airfare, $34,000. Deputy Chief of Staff's cost, $38,000. The person who went earlier, $22,000. Just seems extraordinarily expensive.
Yeah, it does. Story number 3, 2025 has proven a year of contradictions in the housing market, according to Domain, with the first interest rate cuts in 4 years being somewhat swamped by rising property prices in every capital city.
In its end-of-year wrap, Domain said prices rose everywhere. On average, houses rose 9%, units 7%. Investors flooded back to the market. They ended up competing with first home buyers. The so-called affordable cities of Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth are no longer that affordable. The rate cuts in February, May and August reignited buyer confidence, pushing clearance rates to multi-year highs, but that boosted price growth, overwhelming the benefits of the rate reductions.
Last one, story number 5. Consumers are buying earlier ahead of Christmas this year, but the total number of shoppers will fall as cost of living pressures persist.
68% of Australian adults plan to buy gifts this year. It's actually down from last year. Total gift spending is forecast to rise slightly to $12 billion, average spend $757. Those 35 to 49-year-olds, they're the ones spending most, $853 on average, according to the Australian Retailers Association. The 6-week run into Christmas, which includes the just completed Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, is the most important one for retailers. The Retailers Association says total spend, we're talking everything, groceries, gifts, alcohol, the whole shebang, forecast to come in at $72.4 billion this year. An interesting trend is the ongoing shift back towards more bricks and mortar shopping as a proportion of total shopping.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Thursday, the 4th of December, 2025. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.